It is Monday, you know what time it is. It is time for a little bit of shop talk. We are going to basically kind of talk about what's been going on around our shop, and we'd appreciate it if y'all would talk about what's been going on around yours. As you can see from the title, we've suffered one of our biggest losses this past week. I really wouldn't say
it's been a Greek tragedy.
I wouldn't say it was just this past week. It's kind of been an ongoing thing, and it seems like this isn't going to be resolved whatsoever. So I think we just kind of need to get it off of our chest. Who knows? It might be a little bit of a PSA announcement for those of you that might come across this company that wants to do business with you, because
we're actually doing something that we have never done before. We are straight out going to call out somebody that screwed us.
We'll see. We'll talk.
I am. I got permission. You gave me permission.
We'll talk about it, and as the show goes on, if you guys want to know who it is, I don't know. Like
I have zero problem just airing it, because this isn't like, trying to be tactful with the client at this point. This is somebody that took something from us. They stole.
They did. And we've tried to...
There's no honor among thieves, right? So why should we apply the same thing?
We tried to resolve things, but I don't know. They were just really nasty. And it is a husband-wife team. And we'll talk about it. It's some of the designs that you guys have seen us do. And we'll dive into that.
We got video proof of us working on it.
we got a lot of proof of us working on it. What's up, Uproar? Hey, it's been a while.
Uproar, where have you been? I thought you were dead.
Good to have you.
Not really.
Don't say that.
I didn't actually. That's why I said not really.
Yeah, no, I get that. You're joking, but it's good to have you on, man. It's been a long while, Bad Brad. Good to have you.
Sign
Matt, what's up?
Yo.
Sign Commanders, give me a call again. Not necessarily today, but this week. I apologize. It's kind of slipped my mind with a whole bunch of with everything going on, but you're more welcome to call, and just don't say that you're the IRS, because I was like, what?
We don't need another bad thing in the day.
No. I for a moment there, I thought it was someone that because he was just being silly, but I thought it was just one of those spam calls where they try and do the whole scare tactic thing with people, and I was like, yes, sir. But anyways.
Hey, Devin. But Uproar has been, he's been busy. School orders and sublimation masks.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even, you haven't been on for a while, so it's like, man, a million things kind of run through your mind. Maybe he's not screen print anymore, kind of thing. So that's good to hear. That's awesome. I imagine, I don't know if it's Houston in general, but things have been going well and busier than ever. I know there were those couple of months where things were really slow, but that was just the world in its entirety. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are still trying to recover from it with everything that's gone on. But I think we've been fortunate enough to come out on the other end, the side where we're just busy and trying to figure out how to manage all that, which is a good problem to have. Isn't that right, Shannon? Where did you go?
I went to the chat.
Where are you at?
I'm at the chat.
Huh?
Ow.
All right, well, just give me one moment here. I'm gonna for the chat. Speaking of, I'm gonna plug in.
We got 20 here. So.
The latest chat, so that way when we do pull it up, you can see it on the screen. And I think we are, we are ready to rock and roll. So let's do it. How's everybody doing? We hope everybody had a great weekend, an awesome week. Things around here have been busy. I hope you guys have had a moment to go and check out the vlog where I tried the vlog throughout the week as much as I possibly could with just how things have been, and I we've been doing some lives here and there where we're just we haven't had a chance to really sit down. So, and I know you guys, some of y'all out there, guys and gals, like to watch us in action and kind of get a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff going on. So we'll continue to do that. Sometimes we're just busy and we just got to hammer things out, and there's really no time for us to do the social media thing. But we enjoy it when we can, though. Shannon, what you got anything to add? You want to go over to the chat because you keep looking at the chat. And
I do.
I feel like I'm talking over here by myself.
Well,
all by
okay.
myself.
Our normal system is normally to like start saying hi in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the chat to say hi.
Let's go over to the chat and we'll do some shout outs.
All right. Hey, Devin, Oscar, Dave. Yes, they do. Cisco, what's up? Endless Ink. Hi. He waved. I waved. George Lopez. What's the weather like here? Hot, muggy, awful,
rainy. It's the past. It hasn't rained in a little while, so now it just seems like
it's been thundering a lot.
The way Houston goes is it'll be nice for a week or two, and then it will rain for a week or two.
Tommy says, "My know me, yo, Tommy." Oh, speaking of, I've been trying to get him the sign.
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy. The sign did come in. I haven't even had a chance to look at it just yet, but I'm going to unroll it and basically make a sign out of it and put it up above the shop and do a little video on that.
And we'll send you pictures of it and all of that too.
Oh, well, I'm going to do video.
Oh.
I'm going to do a video of me installing it, so that way, I don't know, it might be helpful to somebody, kind of see how we go about doing these kind of things. It's not it's almost like doing it like a billboard with the vinyl, and then we have our backing made out of wood, and it's nothing like super complicated, pretty inexpensive to do. We've done that for clients down the business parking lot.
It was a pain in the ass for me though, because I kept having to like run back and forth. Instead of moving this much.
Well, that sign was like, it was 42 feet long. So, and Aaron and I are up there with Aaron's one of our buddies that had a shop next door. At least we became buddies because he had a shop next to us. Cool guy. A little bit of a spaz like Shannon, but cool guy. So long story short, I had to get a 17-foot ladder, and I believe him or we kind of took turns. He stood on the back of his truck rack, and we knocked it out in the middle of the night, so that way when the business came when they came back to their business, that sign would be up, and that way nobody was in the way as well. So nobody was in the way as well.
You can't just show it, love.
No, that's my tiredness showing. That's what that is.
Yeah, we're both tired. But okay, so DJ, glad you could make it finally. Jim,
what's up, DJ?
Jim, what's up?
Jim, is it Jim?
I feel like I'm bringing back
Jim Crumby.
Hmm?
Well, hey, little Jimmy, he was the one that stopped by and made me that fake turd.
Hey, yeah, the one that I'm still wearing the necklace from, that's now pink instead of silver.
Right, yeah. Shannon threw away the turd that he made.
I did.
He would be.
I did throw it away.
Upset if he knew that.
No, I told him from
he
the
would.
first. I told him from the first. I was like, I'm throwing this away the moment he's not paying attention. And then he was paying attention several times, so we would just find it back again in the shop or in the office or in the house or something. And then I throw it away again. And finally, I managed to get it, but because I stuck it in like a kid's McDonald's box or something. Hi, Flex. What's going on?
I'll pull the microphone closer to you because it's kind of low.
This is making me so cross-eyed.
There we go. That's better. You're just a little faint. What's up, Flex? How you doing? Sign Commander says leave her alone. She gonna kick your butt.
If only.
Oh, that's a day in, day out thing right there. I pick on Shannon a little bit. Sometimes it can get a little out of hand. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
But
for the most part, it's
and
all
then
good.
it's all in good fun until her feelings get hurt. Then I'm like, ooh, maybe
yeah.
maybe I pushed it a little much.
Yeah, maybe a half an hour of the same shtick maybe isn't like the best way to go around.
It's not the same shtick per se.
Anyways, so for him printing wants to know how we like our press. We want the all electrical one. Scoob!
Love
she can't
it.
Stay.
I think it's awesome. It's one of the best upgrades we've made to our shop. And the compressor kicks on a lot less. Like the other press we had, I think it was a great stepping stone. Wouldn't you agree, Shannon?
Yes.
As far as being able to take on those larger orders and contract stuff.
It was a step in the growth.
Definitely so. I don't regret it whatsoever. The only thing was it ate up a lot of air, and so this machine doesn't eat up a ton of air. And having the touch controls and all that, I still need to upgrade the operating system. They've got a new operating system, and I've been trying to. Well, I wouldn't say I've been trying to. I just haven't made time to give them a call and upgrade the system just yet. Got a little bit different of a design. I'd say I think it's a little sleeker looking. Although what's there, I'm like, oh man, just got used to this one. Then they come out with the new operating system, and yeah, I've got nothing but great things. The print quality as well has improved. Very consistent. One of our contract clients mentioned that the quality of our work has been better than any shops that they've dealt with, and they also were like, hey, raise your prices 10 to 15%. That's my advice. Did I tell you that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to take that advice, and they said they would be happy to pay it. Although there's some of our contract clients that won't be happy to pay it.
Well, that's
you know how I'm talking about?
No.
In particular.
No.
She poisoned me with her barbecue. I'm just kidding. We love you. But she's everybody's trying to get as much meat on the bone as possible.
That's an excellent way to put that.
Yeah. So, who was saying, "Hey, you're leaving a little too much meat on the bone. I'm good with a little less." So, we'll I don't know, maybe do it at 10%. See if that changes anything, and then
I don't know. Maybe a good idea would just be like I don't want to actually say. Never mind. We'll talk about it.
So what I'm getting to with that is the quality of the work that we do is really good compared to some of the other printers that they've been dealing with, and want to swing more work our way.
It doesn't hurt that you're a perfectionist.
However, one of the things we do need to work on as a team is just, and I wouldn't necessarily, I'd say we're at the point where we're just overwhelmed rather than people kind of twiddling their thumbs kind of thing. There's always something to do. We're probably at the point where we could use
Yeah,
a
told you.
second auto. Really?
He's eating
What?
it.
Yeah, I saw that. I'll get him. Apollo. So Apollo's gonna have to get him a cone because he's been licking the crap out of his foot, and it's kind of made it raw, and continues to lick it. So I was like, you know what? I got a few first aid stuff here at the shop.
It's a thing. Like it happens to dogs that have fur between the toes.
So all dogs have fur between their toes.
Well, they say they get ones where they have a lot of fur. He has a lot of fur between his
That's
toes.
the
I'm just
silliest
saying,
thing I've ever heard.
it's either barn methoded or 8 weeks of antibiotics.
Oh, so you unwrap the whole thing, huh?
Told you.
Go ahead, Shannon. I'm just gonna pull this off real quick.
What am I supposed to go ahead with?
Go to the chat.
All right. Okay. Flex. Yo. We got Waldo. No updates on that. He really shouldn't have started talking about it yet. He was just super excited, and then we got slammed again, and he hasn't had time to work on it. Devin, hi from Washington State.
What's up, Devin?
I bet the weather is better there than it is here. Sign Commander says, send me a PDF and he'll do a 3x5 banner to hang behind Shannon. But then where will the picture go?
What's the banner going to be?
Better be Shopnum. Premiere, hi. Amato. Hello. I'm wondering if you're the same. I bet you're the same Amato as we just did business with this week. Yo!
What are the mottos then?
Hello.
Oh, what's up, Amato?
Sign Commander says hot sauce.
Hot sauce?
Yeah.
Chris?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I get it.
I don't.
He's saying you're the hot sauce.
I'm the hot sauce?
That's what
Am I spicy?
You are one hot tamale. You're not even Hispanic. You'd be like a cabbage roll. She'd be a cabbage roll.
I hate you, but they're delicious.
Because I'm a newfie.
I am a newfie, so screw you very much. And cabbage rolls are delicious. I just don't want to be associated with cabbage. Yeah. From a family that emigrated from Newfoundland.
Right. Sorry about that, guys. I had to put some first aid stuff on the dog, and apparently it's just not working.
Oh, no, he said hot sauce for the dog's foot.
Oh, hot sauce?
That sounds so mean.
That would burn his foot. He's kind of chewed it up raw. So
He's still licking it.
Yeah, I put a little ointment on his paw, cleaned it up with an alcohol swab. It didn't burn him or anything, so it can't be that bad. I think he's just made it somewhat tender because he keeps licking that foot. So I don't know. I told Shannon that we should go get some athletic foot wrap for him, kind of like we had to do with the ears. But anyways, let's talk about some screen printing stuff rather than the dog.
Please and thank you.
All right, what do we got in the chat, Shannon?
Well, motto is OrangeStar.
Hey,
UPS
what's up, Wayne?
showed up for OrangeStar.
Sweet. Looking forward to those jackets, or the one jacket.
Thanks, Wayne.
Hey, Wayne, we still need to work on a couple things. I know you've probably been busy.
Screen printing.
It is. It's screen printing. We're gonna do it.
I thought you were gonna talk about the car stuff.
No, we were gonna do a plastisol transfer kind of vlog kind of deal. I've done transfers before in the past. Would you not do that, Shannon? I swear. But I've done transfers in the past. Never really been a huge fan of it. well, I won't say I'm not a huge fan of it. It's just it's quite the process, and there's a lot of competition out there. I think at the time when I was doing it on the manual press is probably when it just really didn't make a whole lot of sense. So
You look super orange.
I know that's because the camera likes to, and the sun's shining through the window too. So, but I was doing it on the manual press, and I was really using
Nope.
transfers for before I had a plotter. I had a heat press, and so I would do individual names and numbers that way. But it'd be cool to go over there and play around with it again and kind of experiment with it some and kind of brush up on it because it's been years since I've messed around with doing transfers. But you know, it's not the most difficult thing. Although, you know, you got to get some experience doing it to make them look right. So I personally was wanting to get a little more experience under my belt doing it. Plus, hanging out with Wayne's fun.
I like him.
We'll talk about the car stuff later.
That's probably best.
Oh, shut up. You know, Bagware, Karen saw the. Would you get off your phone? What are you doing?
I have 10 hours to beat 15 levels to get a rainbow fish.
Get off your damn phone. I am. Ah, Shannon. We're over here doing a live show, and you're over there.
It's all focused on you right now. I
On
can't.
your
I can't
damn
really
phone.
interrupt it. Like, and I figured I could get a couple moves in. That's all.
Oh, sorry, let's focus on you.
I don't want to focus on me, but it's just I can't
Too late.
really interject at that point. So I thought I had a couple seconds to get like. I have 15 levels to beat in 10 hours.
Nobody cares.
Anyway, so okay.
Or I don't.
Exactly. There we go. Greetings from Norway. It's 2:20.
Hey. Oh, wow.
AM. He's building his first 2-color screen printing press from plywood, and he's listening to you guys. Keep up the good work.
Oh, cool.
Don't cut your finger off and do a good job.
Oh,
Shop
hush,
Numhuck.
Shannon. We that's how I started out. Is I made a press out of plywood, basically. I really started all this with no money because I had no money. I just got divorced and kind of lost the motivation to do freelance graphic design work, and it's like, you know what, it sounds like a fun project, and that was doing t-shirts, and the company I worked for screen printed on balloons, so I had access to a bunch of stuff to kind of get me started, and took some pre-orders, saved that money, and spent $25 at Lowe's, made a press, and ordered the most expensive blank garments I think I've ever ordered because I had no idea what I was doing at the time. And I used Speedball ink.
Ooh.
Water-based. I was trying to dry it with a hairdryer. So, I've come a long
Live and
way.
learn.
I wish I had started doing videos back then. That would have been interesting. It wasn't until I kind of started getting a handle on it and had the 6-color press where I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to show people how to do this stuff. Ryanette and those other people out there aren't the only ones that could teach this kind of stuff. I think a huge inspiration too was Jonathan, to an extent. His approach with everything, it was just kind of like very, very easy going. Like it wasn't well, I mean, a lot of commercials now, but to begin with, it was, I'm Jonathan with CatSpit, and this is how you print stuff. Now it's like, buy supplies.
He's nice though.
He is. He's cool. I mean,
and he thinks you're cute.
It's what?
He does.
Who thinks who's cute?
Jonathan thinks Sin's cute.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I'm like, you better pump the brakes. That's never come out of his mouth. Ever.
No,
Even if there's a fire.
I'm the only one you need to think is cute, okay?
Okay. Thank you. But yeah, cool stuff, man. That's awesome to hear that you're. Don't look at me like that. That's awesome to hear you're making a press. Not a bad way to start. Let's
Okay,
go over to the chat and
well,
see
the
who's
chat's actually
saying.
pretty quiet now. That was the last thing.
That was the last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, um, so let's dive into the topic here at hand. Even though we started out talking about it,
We'll delve into Mikey Designs terrible, no good, very bad week.
so we took the biggest bath. I wouldn't say we took it. We were
We got conned into it.
we were handed out the biggest bath we've ever had since being in business. Long story short, we started. Well, I guess there's no point in making it a long story short kind of thing. Um, if you guys are in it, y'all might need to know just in case y'all come across these people. So it started out with an order, and it was based off because they saw some of the racing designs and whatnot that we've done and screen printed, and that's what they do. They design, so it's a husband and wife. The husband designs, and they both kind of sell apparel and car graphics for the dirt track people and just racing in general, but I would mostly say dirt track. They do signs and other things too, but they sent us an order. Initially, it was kind of addressed to me. We took care of it, got it out. It's actually one of the videos we have up on doing simulated process on the automatic, even though you can apply that to the manual as well. Seemed like everything was cool. They sent us another order. One was it was kind of a combined order where one part of the order was going to be screen printing and then the other was embroidery. And that's where things kind of fell apart because the organization on their end was they sent us about 3 different orders all combined into one box and sent us art for one of the designs. And they're like, this essentially, we didn't know whether they were talking about the type of brand the caps that they were sending or whatever the case may be. But it was supposed to be for 3 separate orders. Obviously we don't do embroidery here, so we outsourced that, and that was just something where it's like we're kind of doing them a favor because they can just send it here. We'll handle it for them. Send us your screen printing business. We'll take care of that and make sure the embroidery gets taken care of. We get it to our embroiderer. They're confused even by the emails, and we're going back and forth. We're like, I don't get what they're trying to relay here. So we said, hey, send us mock-ups of everything so we can figure out what you're talking about here. And they kind of got pissy and are like, tired of y'all playing games. Like, we're not playing games. We're trying to communicate. We're trying to get everybody on the same track. And they just kind of, I say it was more so the husband. Boy, she's got a bad deal over there with that dude. Because she is sweet, but man, that guy just, ugh. Anyways, so he got irritated, sent like a really nasty email over to Shannon. She didn't even want to read it. I read it, and I didn't say anything because I'm just like, you shouldn't talk to someone like that. Like if you have a concern, you don't like start personally attacking or just like coming after us like you're gonna fight us in the street kind of thing.
Or threatening to come down and kick your ass.
That was the second email. You
Oh.
had sent the nice reply that was, we're on top of things. There was some miscommunication. We're getting everything sorted out. We'll get these out as soon as possible.
And I'll comp you some
And
of the hats.
right, and because we were out, and we've been having problems with outsourcing our embroidery just in general, because not having control over the embroidery, we call and we're like, hey, like today, that order is supposed to be ready Friday. They told us Monday. We got no phone call today saying, hey, it's ready.
I did think about that, but you were in a bad mood, so I didn't mention it.
I wasn't in a bad mood.
Well, I thought you were in a bad mood because you were like complaining about something about the glue on the pallets or something. That's when I had thought about it.
No, I wasn't in a bad mood. It's just like I was just focused and trying
Anyways.
to get the orders out, and happened to spill a whole container of pallet glue on the pallet. And Shannon was like, nah. I was like,
I was trying.
really?
I was trying to make light of it, like saying it's not that big a deal. Ha, that's kind of silly.
It really isn't that big of a deal, but I was trying to
Well, I didn't
get things
figure
out the
like,
door.
hey, by
before.
the way, here's something else. Anyways, go on.
We're deviating. So this embroiderer that we've been using, they kept saying this day, that day, and we're just relaying the message, and we get it. We would be upset. I mean, I'm not going to use them anymore because it's just become a headache. So, what happened is that's when he sent the ugly email of, I'm going to come down. It was basically threatening, like he's going to come down and do something. I was like, what? I was like, no. You're not going to talk to us like that. I was like, you show up at my shop all pissed off, and it was getting personal at that point. So, and I told Shannon at that point, I don't want anything to do with them anymore. And that's not to say anything about you. The wife called and apologized. She called and apologized. She apologized to me. So it kind of eased things over, and it was just like, let's figure out this hat thing. Shannon and myself will be the one that's making the deals and all that. And she went into how she's got cancer and which I don't even know if I believe that. Maybe it's true, but her husband just has got, it's his baby, so he has to say so. And
It's kind of like you and me.
it
Except
is.
He's mean.
He's definitely. So fast forward, we go through that. We smooth things over. They send more orders. And
therein lies the rub, though, because there was zero communication about the orders, because they were all rush and inaccurate numbers and no due dates, except I need them right now.
Some of them, I went through and counted every order that they had sent in, and some of them were spot on, and then there's others they weren't. And they would tell us, oh, we counted everything. I'm like, well, the machine doesn't lie. It's telling me how many. I went through myself and put a countdown on the press, and the press is telling me there's X amount of pieces here. And we would relay that and say, hey, this is what we have, even before we started running things off, just to make sure things were cool. And because everything was such a rush, I mean, they would next day things over. Next day, every order was the next day, and then they would send like 5 orders at once, and it's like, we need these.
And we didn't have
even
invoices written up for those.
I did.
No, like the stuff that came like towards the end, there were no invoices for them. Things would just show up.
Yeah, things would just show up. We would get the invoice together and send it over for quote approval, and then we'd run the things off. The other thing where it's like, besides everything that had gone on before, was the red flag of, they didn't it's like, hey, you hadn't paid for the hat invoice yet. We need to get that taken care of. Oh, well, the invoice needs readjusting. Readjust it and we'll pay it. It's
Our
like
credit card was stolen. They took $9,000 out of our account. We'll be paying by cashier's check. I'm like, yeah, well, that's fine. But, Matt says that we're not printing anything else until we get paid for what we've printed. And then all of a sudden the next day, and she would say, okay, yeah, no, I understand. Like, we're totally going to do everything by credit card for the next one. And then the next day, stuff would show up. And we're like, no!
So they essentially racked up about $5,600 worth of invoices. And what ended up happening is I told them we're not printing anything else, and there was the next day stuff still coming. It's like, we're not printing anything else. You've been sending us all this rush stuff. We can't rush anything else. Shannon told me one day, she said, you're going to be mad, but these shirts need to go out today. This is at like 3 p.m.
That's when I got the email.
And it was 7-color front, 8-color back, had no screens ready. I was just like, I'm not mad.
Guess what? I was right. He was.
I was not. I told you. I said, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not mad. We're just not. A, it's impossible to get it out today. B, we have other clients we need to take care of. They're not. If we were relying,
that's a subtext of that we also have to address because of this.
Just because they're sending us orders and they want things rushed, it clearly. And we've relayed it to them. It's like, we can't take any more rushes.
It was just so kamikaze.
I told the wife, I was like, hey, we can't take any more rush orders right now because we have other people we have to take care of. Just because you send us a rush order and we have the ability to charge for that rush order, we also can deny that rush order based off of our calendar. And we were putting other projects behind a good week towards where now our clients that are actually paying, they're like, hey, what's going on? Where's our shirt? Sorry, we're catching up. And granted, we're even without all that mess, we're still have just been slammed with another contract client and just retail stuff in general. So it was putting a lot of that behind schedule, and we took care of them, got things out fast. The prints look awesome.
Prints were fantastic.
There was about 4 or 5 orders. They were all anywhere from 5 to 6 colors, or not 5 to 6, 5 to 8 colors. On our press. So I'd say there was an order that was like 5 on the front, 6 on the back, another that was 7 and 7. There's one that was 7 and 8. There was another that was 8 and 8. And it takes time to make all these screens, as you guys know. And they were just trying to get us to push all this stuff out. And I told, and we had talked about it before, and the wife would only text. She would text.
She wouldn't call.
I'm like on the phone trying to call her, and she would text, hey, I'm at the doctor's office. I'm like, well, give me a call back. Well, text me about whatever it is you need. And I'm like, okay. And I'd text her, and she's like, I don't have time to text. I'm like, you told me to text.
So let's get to the climax of everything.
The climax is that we told them we're not doing any more work until we get these invoices paid, and they already had 4 boxes worth of garments sitting here, and they said, okay, well, send us back our shirts. We'll send you the tags.
And then they sent the tags that were addressed to us, and I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, they sent the tags and demanded.
I just printed them.
They demanded their shirts, or they weren't paying, kind of thing. And I'm like, no, that's not the way it works. Like, you need to pay us regardless because we've done the work. And they tried to turn it around because one order where they didn't include everything, We ran off what was there, and we told them, we're like, hey, we can't print on the front of this because there's a zipper. It was like, they're like, oh, we didn't want anything on the front anyways. Okay, fine. So they tried coming at us like they're missing 30 shirts for every order and all this stuff. And
We were playing games because we sent them back to ourselves.
so I'm like, what are you talking about? I counted them. There was one order and we clearly communicated all this, and we have it on text.
It's documented.
Yeah, we have it documented. They're out in Florida, so we're in Houston, and the husband got pissy about it, and they were demanding us to send the shirts back, and like like they could just start making demands. And the husband called, and he's like, Matt. I'm like, yes, this is Matt. I already knew who it was, and I knew where it was going to go. So we got into an argument on the phone, and he basically is refusing the pay. And I was like, well,
Almost $6,000.
I'm gonna take you. I basically told him I'm gonna take him to court. Either we're gonna take him to court, send it to collections. We have someone looking into whether or not it would even be worth pursuing. But I just want you guys to know that SD Designs.
We have never done this before. We have never flat out called a company out, but we're doing it this time. It's a PSA.
If someone gets a hold of you and their SD Designs, the husband's name is Shane, the wife's name is Donna. They really, I mean, $5,500. And that was us adjusting the invoices down just to
shut them up.
Yeah, just to shut them up. They really owed us
$6,000.
More than
More
that.
than $6,000. $6,200 actually.
Like we removed rush fees and all that. We were just like, we don't want to
just go away.
We don't want to bother. We don't want to do business with y'all anymore. Just pay the invoices, that way we can.
And then they blocked us. They blocked us on the phone. They blocked us through our emails, and they said we're not paying because you guys are playing games and you were short.
And this is the kind of, and you might run into people like this. These people aside, where the wife sent mailing labels that was the labels. So they sent us labels to get the shirts back to them, and as upset as we were, we still complied, got the labels on there, took video of FedEx getting those shirts and them being loaded onto the truck. And then the shirts show back up next day because it was their mistake of putting the wrong the from and send to address. They had it backwards. So they sent them right back to us next day. And the husband was like, he sent a text saying that essentially that I don't know what kind of games you guys are playing. I was like, we're not playing any games. We just want y'all out of our hair and pay our invoices. Otherwise, we're going to take action because we're a small business, and that's not pocket change. I mean, that's employee pay. That's
our overhead.
That's paying for the time put into that, and it's not even, it's a pretty reasonable price that we had charged too. And a lot of people love the work that we do, and so essentially they're going somewhere else. So y'all feel free to share that. I don't, when
these people need to be blacklisted.
When two human beings, like, I can understand if you get into an argument and you butt heads and you just don't want to work with each other again.
Sometimes sometimes not everybody's a great fit, but that doesn't mean that you're allowed to take advantage of the situation and use that as an excuse to get out of your bill.
Right. There's no reason we shouldn't be paid.
And they're not scammers. I know, like, a lot of, I see it in chat. Like,
right.
A lot of them are saying scammers. They're not actually scammers, I don't believe. They're a legit company. They're just taking advantage of the situation to not pay.
I mean, you can find their
Yeah,
face
they're on the internet.
you can find their
They have their
Facebook
websites.
page, SD Designs, um, Shane Davis, Donna Davis.
But just know that if you
Um,
ever get any calls, do not take them.
yeah, I can't believe that a company would actually do that to anyone. Like it just it blows my mind really, and um, it not only we were moving along and things were I mean things are still going awesome. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time now that's it's energy that we have to put into figuring out whether we can even get that money from, and it might not even be worth the time, but we're going to put some time into seeing what we can do to get paid for our time. However,
There's going to be a
we're
cut for it.
we're not going to just sit around and um, make that our living trying to get that money back.
But let me put it this way though: if I actually have to respond to a text starting off saying "You don't scare me,"
Who said that, Shane?
no, well Shane like sent me that ugly
Oh,
ass
no,
thing,
yeah,
ugly ass
I
text
saw.
from Donna's phone, and like my first thing that I say is "You don't scare me," and you don't have the right to speak to me that way. If I
Yeah,
have to actually state that to another business owner,
yeah, it got that dude just he's got a really bad temper, and I don't get it. Like I wouldn't talk to anybody that way. I mean, you can throw hits and whatnot our way. We'd be like, okay, um, whatever, just gonna
yeah,
let it slide.
you've been more
But
whatever than I've wanted you to be when they've been like ugly or me and stuff, and I'd be like, why didn't you get mad? But you've always been fine.
I
And then
talked
this one, you
to
were like, rah.
I talked to him on the phone, and to me that was is all the verification that I needed as to what kind of person this guy is. He's like, "You come down here and da 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 da." I'm like, I'm not gonna go down there and like, no, I'm going to go through the legal system because I'm not I'm not driving to the Florida to do. I'm not looking for a fist fight, even though that shit pissed
At
me
that
off.
moment, you kind of were.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's certain times in life where that seems like the best thing to do, but really and truly, um, as much as we say we're like don't start any work without a down payment.
Sometimes you get kamikazed.
Sometimes people just pull on the fact that you're good people, and they initially got some of our trust because they were paying timely,
They were
and
in the beginning. They were.
betrayed that trust, and to an extent where it nobody should go through that, and it's going to happen. You're going to unless you're careful, unless you're smarter and less um like they really pulled on our heartstrings in a sense that
The
the
girl's got
wife the
cancer.
wife did, and like we're the kind of people that we can have a big blowout and just be like, okay, you know what, uh things were said on both sides that probably shouldn't have been said. Shit happens. Let's move past. It's kind of like getting in a fight with a friend or something like that, and you're pissed off at each other, and then after the fight, you're closer than ever, kind of thing. But they use that to like really find a way to. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I think that's about all I want to say about that. Is just don't deal with those people.
Yeah, don't deal with them. This is the first time we're actually calling people out because we know what a scam is. I was talking to Matthew Greider a couple days ago about like, yeah, what's a red flag for a scam? There were no real red flags. They were paying on time. Yeah, the husband was a dick and you guys couldn't get along, but I was getting along just fine with the wife. And so she was sending us orders. And then she gave a sob story about, after she had earned the trust, gave a sob story about the credit card being stolen, $9,000 out of the account. So they were waiting on a new one. So everything was going to be done cashier. So I was like, you know what? She's already put like a lot of money down for like a lot of other things. We're good to go.
Rybeat says went through that a few years ago. Take it to small claims. So that's, I mean, that's essentially where we're starting at.
We're going through
I'm
debt
sending
collection first.
Well, I'm sending a certified letter over with their bill, so that way I have some sort of proof that they've seen the bills. It's got to them. We have plenty of evidence. And then Shannon's looked into a debt collector that's going to kind of pull up their credit history and all that, because we could spend time and money going through the process of going to Florida, taking the court, and we could get a judgment. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have the money to pay it.
Yeah, so that's why that's why the credit or the debt collection people are actually looking into it for us first,
Right.
no cost, and then they'll say yay or nay whether or not there's a chance to win. And if they win, yes, they'll take a cut of it. But
Which
I'm
I'm
at this
fine
point,
with.
yeah, at this point, I'm figuring some money is better than nothing because which is something we didn't really get into yet. We lost one of our biggest clients because of this.
Well, I'm going to say that we didn't completely lose the client.
Well, we didn't lose him completely, but we are losing a lot of business from him right now because we were just so blitzkrieged by these orders that everything else was put aside.
One way to look at it, I'd say I look at it like we did this hard work and didn't get paid for it when we had plenty of work paying
people.
work that we essentially couldn't take in because we were busy essentially trying to take care of them and thinking, hey, we have this relationship with these people, and it in turn is costed us
I'd say about
more business, really.
I'd say in total we've probably lost for the month, this included, I'd say we've probably lost $9,000 in profit.
Yeah.
$9,000 in profit.
I'd say so too.
Yeah.
So
that's what happened to us this week. In 1 week, $9,000 lost in profit.
Yeah.
So
but
screw those people.
All things aside, we are busy, and
all
weekend
we're gonna get our feet. We still have our feet on the ground. We're fine. We're doing fine. It's just that was a waste of a couple weeks.
We're just going to move forward and just keep on keeping busy and just be a little more careful about really managing our orders and our time with, and also being careful about who we're putting on the calendar, making sure we have that half down and the other 50% before everything goes out.
And I think one of our things is we kind of like the red flags that we should just nick everything immediately.
Right.
We kind of like find a way to like justify them as like people instead of like, so one of the chat things says sociopaths.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that we need to really work on as well, just nicking a red flag in the bud.
Yeah, and I mean, we're busy enough
We're busy
towards
enough.
where
We didn't
we
need
can
this.
definitely pick and choose who we want to work with. But at the same time, we're trying to grow our business and take in as much as possible, so that way we can keep everybody busy, add more people, and I mean, the next step is really working our way towards getting a bigger shop, and gotta get the embroidery in house sooner than later. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's something we got to figure out. It's either that or we stop offering it to the contract side. Not even the contract side of things, is the retail side of things too. They've been. Anyways, it's we aside from that, I think we really kind of need to get that off of our chest. Things have been great. I hope you've seen the vlog that I put up earlier today. All bad news aside, I think any company, any small business is going to go through hurdles like that. And
I look fat and tired.
no, you don't.
I do. I'm looking at myself.
My face is orange. But we're busy, and things couldn't be better. And this was just one thing that was like, ugh.
This was an anomaly.
Last week was just, it was not the best of news from a couple different directions, I guess is the best way to put it. So
You want to go through the chat? I'm emotionally exhausted at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to the chat for a moment and just kind of see what's going on. I may not get as many clients on my roster, but I have always been a pay in full kind of person. They can pay me in payments, but no work starts until paid in full.
That's what was happening
George,
in the first place.
Yeah, George Lopez. Says George Lopez Designs, and I mean that's generally how we run our business, you know.
And that's how we ran it in the beginning with that one.
Let's see what else.
But then we got kamikazes, and we just figured, okay, they're good for it.
TM says I've been quite successful at getting paid in full up front, and we have too. You can ask for that, the full amount up front, and then
Jason, you shut your mouth.
If they say, "Hey, Jason, put up a picture of you. Let's see what you look like." Anyways, I mean, most people are happy to pay in full up front. For us, we generally we'll do the 50% down, and it tends to work out. You know, there occasionally, I'd say maybe once every 2 or 3 months, we might have someone that put the half down and they can't afford the other half, but it's not like a huge loss. It might be like the other half they have to pay up. It's like a couple $100 at the most. Those are the kind of people like we're just like, okay, it's not that big of a deal.
Test shirts.
But with a bigger order, people, they're more invested. If they're gonna put that money down, chances are they want their shirts. If it's 100 and if it's a 300 total in the order, and they put that 150 down, and they happen to not want, or for whatever, financially, or there was a client that we had recently that was like, "Hey, are you going to be able to match these colors?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, we can match them. And I did 3, and it wasn't even that big of an order, but I did my best to please them. Changed the colors a couple, 2 or 3 times with neon colors and all that, and they came in and sat down and pulled up the image. He's like, "You see this picture here?" And it was RGB colors. And I tried relaying that to him, that RGB colors are monitor colors, and you're only going to get so bright. I mean, when you print white down on a shirt, it's not like looking at the headlight of a car. You know what I mean? Like it's one's light coming from a monitor, and one is a color printed onto whether it's paper, whatever the case may be. So, but anyways, well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Matt, I'll go to Florida with you. Says Rybeat. Take turns kicking him in the nuts. I was telling Shannon, I was like, let's just go put sugar in his gas tank.
And I'm just like, I'd rather just the bill be paid.
Yeah,
But
me
that's
too.
me.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be nice to go over and kick the dude in the butt, but you know, I'm not really. We're moving on. We're gonna
the whole
do the
thing's
legal.
just exhausting. I
gonna do the
just
legal
want it to be
thing.
handled.
Yeah, we're gonna do the legal thing and see where that gets us, and who knows? Maybe we'll report back. If not, we're just gonna let it drop and
Learning experience, I guess.
yes, big time. So
Just because they have a sob story doesn't mean that they're going to pay like decent human beings.
yeah, I doubt we'll see a penny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate everybody for tuning in, for listening to us, and you know, again, we don't normally just call people out, and
It's the first time I think we've done it.
It's not to be like, hey, we just didn't agree with these people. I mean, these people stole from us, and we don't want that to happen to y'all.
So don't take anything from SD Designs.
Yes, do not take any orders from them. But if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Check out some of our other videos. We talk about stuff like this. We do tutorials, graphic design tutorials, screen printing, anything associated with decorating garments, aside from the embroidery stuff. But
Shop Gnome, good luck.
be sure to tune in next Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all have a great week, and we'll see you guys next Monday. And
Love
just
you
keep
guys,
an eye out
hearts.
for some more videos coming up. I'm going to crank some stuff out. I got some videos coming up this week, so we'll see y'all next time.